can't say the playwright lacks command of the English language, and you can't say he doesn't know how to please a crowd. You can say, however, that as scripted, Henry IV, Part 2 is not the bard's best. The plotting lacks punch, the action is next to nil, and scenes of emotional conflict are too few and far between. Yet, surprisingly, despite the deficiencies, director Lisa Peterson and the Oregon Shakespeare Festival managed to produce an entertaining evening of theater. What Shakespeare gifted us with here is the character of Sir John Falstaff, the old knight and longtime chum of Prince Hal. This is Falstaff's play, and Michael Winters as a conniving thief and glutton is convincing in this role. Light on his gout-ravaged legs, lightning with his delivery of pun-packed lines, and as likable as he is rotund. Though hobbled afoot, his wit gallops across the stage, from the bawdy house to the countryside where he solicits bribes as a recruiter of soldiers. This story is set during a civil war, the outcome of which is never in doubt. The forces of King Henry IV, who is ill and nearing death, are coming off a victory in a battle with rebels determined to overthrow him, as he once had overthrown King Richard. The rebels, by the way, whose plotting we follow, make no more than a mild impression as dramatic personages. In contrast to Falstaff and the collection of clowns around him, nearly everyone else appears colorless. Meanwhile, Prince Hal, back from his hero's role on the battlefield, is waging a more fascinating and suspenseful war within himself regarding the man he is to be. Will he slip back to his pre-war slacker self, allowing himself to be swayed by mentor Falstaff, or grow up and grow worthy of the crown? John Tufts, who makes a flamboyant entrance wrapped in a British flag, gives us a convincing Hal. He reminded me, quite appropriately and perhaps intentionally, of a carousing Charlie Sheen, an unredeemable frat boy prankster. Imagine that fellow as an heir to the throne, and you can appreciate the concerns of the court and his father, the king. This concern is played out when Prince Hal visits the deathbed of his father. Mistakenly believing the king, Richard Howard, has passed, he places Henry's crown on his head. Moments later, however, when the king wakes from slumber, he is certain that his immature, power-hungry heir swiped the crown prematurely. Sadly, the ensuing father-son confrontation, one of the few scenes penned with the potential for dramatic tension and poignancy, came across as emotionally flat and absent of conviction. Despite this flaw as well, the virtues of the production, the sheer energy and creativity in the staging, and the inventive performances of the minor characters provided ample compensation. For one instance, Kimberly Scott as Mistress Quickly was delight, pouring herself into the role of the brothel madam, serving admirably as one of the many foils and verbal sparring partners for Falstaff. Masterful scene transitions, flush with intense splashes of music, as well as an exceptional lighting scheme and spot-on costume design, contributed to covering the play's inherent lack of dramatic intensity. While Henry IV Part 2 is not likely to be regarded as one of this season's best at OSF, this company has every right to be proud. I would not have expected to say this about one of Shakespeare's histories, particularly not this one, but Henry was fun. Henry IV Part 2 plays through October 7th. And don't miss a review. Click to receive all Rosey reviews by email.